Welcome back, viewers at home. Tonight, I am joined by Divine Karen Yamulamba, who joins us to discuss the highly anticipated annual Leadership Forum 2024, which will be taking place in Nairobi, Kenya on November 28th and 29th. Now, Karen will talk to us about the organization's vision and strategy for this important event, which aims to promote gender equality, inclusive leadership on the continent. Good evening, Divine, and thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here tonight.
It would be so wild for me not to say you're looking quite stunning. But my first question for you tonight is, can you start by giving us an overview of the Amazon Leadership Initiative?
With pleasure. It's a golden question that you've just asked. So, the Amazon Leadership Initiative is a nonprofit, women led, youth led organization that was founded officially in 2020 that has the aim to empower young women and girls between the ages of 14 to 29. Now, when you hear the name the ALI or the Amazon Leadership Initiative, you hear gender equality, you hear leadership capacity, you hear mentorship. Those are our pillars. Those are what we stand for. And we are very strong on continental representation, which is why it is a continental organization. So we are very much for regional representation, because we have a network of over 4,000 young female leaders that are from different regions across Africa. Wow. So we function based on different caucus groups. We have what we call the Southern Africa Caucus Group, the Western Africa Caucus Group. We have what we call SAND, which is a combination of Central, Eastern, Northern, and the Diaspora Caucus Group. And all of these caucus groups have their own presidents, their own vice, their own general secretary. They organize their events. We engage mostly online, but whenever we have the opportunity to come face to face for events such as the Annual Leadership Forum, you definitely know that we're going to make an impact.
Now, Divine, you spoke about 14 to 29, the age groups of women or ladies that you guys on a daily empower. What does the empowerment conversations and, some of these activities look like? Because I'm thinking to myself, I would have to separate these age groups, or is it a matter of, the content you guys curate is tailor-made for all age groups?
Definitely. The content we stand for is tailor-made for all age groups. Obviously, it's not one size fits all. We do have a particular focus when it comes to certain programs, and we have various programs at the Amazon Leadership Initiative. We have what we call the Back to School program, where we engage with different schools. For instance, in South Africa, we're engaging with a school called Prudence Secondary School. And in that school, there are quite a number of matriculants that we follow up on. We follow their academic journey. We ask their teachers, where is it that we can step in and offer mentorship and offer guidance if there need be. We have another program called the Mentorship Program, where our young girls actually get to engage one-on-one with mentors. Female luminaries is what we like to call them. And these are basically all the women who are experts in their fields, whether it be technology, politics, commerce, banking, whatever it is. So they get to have this one-on-one moment with them, whether it be in person or online, where they ask them questions, and together they actually come up with what are their goals, what are their academic goals, their personal goals, and their professional goals. And the mentors help them to fulfill those goals. We have our Women in Political Participation program, which we're launching actually at the Annual Leadership Forum that I'm going to talk about shortly. And in this particular program, we equip young women to be ready for taking up space in the political sector. So we teach them everything that has to do with democracy, diplomacy, international relations, anything that has to do with really breaking this gender disparity that is currently present in government, in parliament, etc. We have Women in Peace and Security, where we equip young women with leadership capacity on how to be involved in conflict resolution and peace initiatives. We also have, the list is so long. I do not want to take so much of your time, but the reason why we're here tonight is for the Annual Leadership Forum, which is happening in Kenya on the 28th and the 29th of November. And with your cue, I would like to discuss that, of course.
Now, before we get to the annual forum itself, I want to understand from you, from the different works you've been doing, the different interactions you've had with the different women from different backgrounds, different countries at that, what do you see as the most critical challenges facing women and girls in Africa today? And most importantly, since you seem like a very solution-driven person who's part of a solution-driven organization, is how can these challenges be addressed through the leadership development and education?
Those are very important questions that you have just asked. I personally think that one of the most common challenges, but still very visible within our different African societies today, is access to education for the girl child. It is 2024, but there are still quite a number of young girls who are still deprived of their right to education just because they are female. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to, as you said, be solution-minded, and we bring what is deprived of them to them, right? So we don't just focus on the girls in the suburbs. We also focus on the girls on grassroots level. We engage with them. So access to education is one of them, which is why with the Back to School program, one of the things that hinder young girls from attending school is access to resources such as school shoes. And with our Back to School program, we go to these schools and we give them those resources based on our capacity. We give the girls those resources so that at least that basic need is met. And whether or not they're struggling, to even pay fees, at least that is not a burden on their parents' mind, because a lot of them come from homes where parents are unable to afford things as simple as school shoes, or their parents are in a very conflictual environment and they cannot really see the need of the girl child. Apart from access to education, we also have the issue of period poverty in Africa, where it is still not acknowledged that even if a young girl's body is changing, that does not deprive her from opportunities, especially the opportunity to access education. So what we do to kind of bring the solution in that particular area, for instance, we had the opportunity to go to Mumana Primary School, which is based in Zambia. And there we taught the girls how to make renewable pads, renewable sanitary towels, using resources that are available to them already at home, because we know that they are also coming from families where they aren't able to actually buy these pads themselves in the stores. So those are just two issues that I wanted to quickly mention before giving you the opportunity to continue.
Now, here is my very power-loaded question, and this is regards to the annual leadership forum that will be taking place between the 28th and the 29th of November. I want to know from you, what are some of the key topics that will be covered, and why are they important?
All right. So the main theme of our annual leadership forum is Black Girl, Your Dreams Are Valid. One of the things that we want to remind the Black girl is that regardless of where she is from, where she has been raised, there is nothing impossible for her to fulfill her dreams. However, apart from our main theme, we also have sub-themes. We have a sub-theme in business leadership and management, public leadership and management, and civic leadership and management. And within those three sub-themes, we invite female luminaries once again who come and exchange their leadership journeys with the girl. So what they basically do is they unveil what it is that they had to go through to get where they are today. What are some of the challenges they've had to overcome, the glass ceilings that they've had to shatter in order to make it to the top, like we like to call it. So these inspiring women, they come through and they offer career advice or self-development advice on how to develop your self-confidence, how to perfect your public speaking for these respective spaces. Why we picked those particular three is because we've noticed again the gender disparity. It's very common to mention that out of one woman in parliament, you will find maybe 100 men. So how do we make this how do we normalize the presence of women in all spaces, whether it be in government, whether it be in schools as teachers, whether it be as businesswomen who are CEOs of well-renowned companies. That's what we're trying to achieve. We're trying to show these young girls and women that anywhere you go, you can find a woman in leadership.
Now, I'm going to squeeze a question here to ask in terms of, I'm seeing annual, and I'm just going to prematurely assume that every year it's something that actually takes place. What are some of the highlights from the previous years? And I think the most important question I can ask on behalf of our viewers at home is how can they get involved as well as attend the event itself? And those who are not, financially able to go to the country itself, how can they be part of this beautiful program?
Oh, I think one of the biggest highlights of our annual leadership forum last year was the number of applications that we received. So this is an application-based event where the girls get to apply to be selected either to attend the event in person if they're based in Nairobi, Kenya, or to attend online. Now, online, the space is a little bit more unlimited compared to in person, because in person it's quite limited. We are expecting about 500 young women and girls who will be joining us in person. And then online, if you would like to participate, you're more than welcome to follow the Amazon Leadership Initiative on YouTube on both days of the Leadership Forum, and we'll definitely be there. We're also available on all our social media platforms that include Instagram and Facebook, Twitter, and even TikTok. If you want to keep up with what is actually happening in Nairobi so that you are not lost while the momentum is still going on. And if I can say that one of our biggest achievements from last year's forum, because this is a flagship program, this is the main thing that the Alley is known for, and we have it every year. And last year we had over 15,000 applications from girls across Africa and even African young girls and women who are in the diaspora. So that means in the UK and Canada, and that still want to join and participate. So it's not too late. If you can follow us on our socials, apart from attending in person, we also, based on application selection, there are also young female leaders who will be joining us from their viewing center, but we call them the Alley Nests. The reason why we call them that is from their respective spaces or regions, particularly, they will be coming and viewing the annual leadership forum on a screen, basically. So they'll be watching us live from wherever they are. So we've got a viewing center that will be made available in Uganda, in Lesotho, in South Africa, and in Nigeria. And again, these are application-based. So the young female leaders who have been selected will get the opportunity to participate in person, and everyone else online.
Divine, this has been quite a divine and delightful conversation where, you've made me feel quite empowered. I think viewers at home watching right now, they feel very, very empowered and very willing, to do the little that they can do in empowering individuals, be it, your neighbor or friend. But thank you so much, for coming in and sharing in information on this beautiful work that you guys are doing at the Alley. And we're wishing you nothing short of the best.
Thank you very much. And thank you for having me tonight.
Viewers at home, that was my conversation with Divine, who is from the Amazon Leadership Initiative, talking about the forum that's going to be taking place on the 28th and 29th of November. So make sure you head over to their website, as well as make sure you make use of the social media content, or rather pages that she supplied us this evening. And you know what? Keep yourself up to date and apply. Who knows? You could be going to Kenya for the first time, if not the second time.